Sam VanFleet is an accomplished young woman. She's an ambassador for the American Mustang. She's competed in numerous Magic Mustang and Mustang makeovers, and she's here giving a clinic on liberty. Have I piqued your interest? Let's go meet her. So Sam, you started doing this very young. I think I heard at 13 you were grooming horses and around horses. When did the light bulb go off and you said, I want a career, I got to do this?
I think it mainly was inspired by the fact that I didn't want to go to college. I was like, I need a different avenue doing something that I already really enjoy. And I wasn't from a horse family. I got started with horses when I was, I think 12 is when I started. I went to a summer camp where the category I was in was horseback riding, and then I started volunteering at a draft horse rescue, adopted a horse from there, and then not too long after I got involved in the Mustangs, and I just think I really enjoyed it, and they were kind of an outlet for me, and really good, like health-wise, mentally,
Yes.
Of course physically too, all the moving around with them, so it was really good for me to be outside all the time. So that's why horses, especially working with them, connecting with them, being outside with them, was kind of that career choice for me. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the Mustang makeover because, I watch your videos on YouTube and you talk about them, and picking up your horses, and there's a big learning curve involved in that, isn't there?
Yeah, like in the process of 100 days, or just the Mustangs in general?
The Mustang, how do you pick it? You're like number 20.
Right.
They've already picked their first 20.
So that was a rare. That one doesn't happen quite as often. That was specifically my Mustang Magic in 2023. Most of the time, you don't get to pick. So like this Mustang right here was my third ever Mustang. He was my last youth year, which meant I only competed in hand with him, and he was random draw. I showed up the day they said, hey, you get your Mustangs this day for the training period. This is the time slot you come at. They load up one of the random ones assigned to you on the trailer, and that's what you get. So most of the ones I've done have been like that. As far as like picking them out of the pens, like the one I have currently is one that I got on the online auction. I just look for one that has a soft eye.
Okay. And what is it about the Mustang? Because in watching your fabulous videos, you talk about the regions that they come from. But does that change with each Mustang? But you also talk about, this region, they're bigger Mustangs. Tell us about the Mustangs that you work with.
There's definitely some like genetics to it as far as the HMA, the herd management area that they come from. Like this one's not around that much, but there's other ones that are like really common, like Little Oahe, Nevada is one of my favorites because the majority I've worked with from there have really good mindsets and they just seem easygoing. But of course there's outliers. There's ones that are a little more difficult and want to stay on the wild side, and ones that are lazier, in your pocket. They're all really different. I feel like I've gotten a good mix of easy ends to really, really difficult ones that have a hard time. Yeah, they have a hard time connecting and trusting and letting their guard down with you.
You talk about patience and trust a lot in your videos.
Yes.
Isn't that in general with horses?
Oh, absolutely. All of them. And that's where I don't feel like domestics and wilds are that different. The initial gentling process, yes, but I almost feel like the Mustangs, they end up, everyone says there's no bond like one that a Mustang will have with someone, because I feel like the gentling process, you have to be so much more in tune with them. And like people with domestic horses, I feel like they almost take that aspect for granted. Like a lot of the in-hand and connection stuff, they're like, we just kind of want to get to riding the horse. They don't pay attention to the little tries or efforts the horse makes to connect, and they just are looking for the bigger picture, where I find like the Mustangs, you have to initially off the back to gain their trust, pay attention to those things.
I'm meeting you for the first time today at a Liberty clinic that you're doing, and tell us about that Liberty, because I saw some great things that you were teaching people just in hand and things that anybody could learn.
Right.
Do you have to have a special horse for something like that?
Not necessarily. They all pick different things that they're keen at, the same way that like a horse that's great at cutting won't be good at jumping. Like Liberty is kind of another discipline in that sense, but I think every horse to a degree should get the chance to do Liberty and become soft and connected with a human. usually it comes down to the human-horse match and the levels of energy. Like, is the horse really low energy, and is the handler also really low energy? Because that doesn't typically match. You need someone that is higher up and can kind of gauge and like meet in the middle. But Liberty work is really cool. It's exactly what the gentling process does as well with Mustangs. It gets you really in tune and paying attention to your horse, becoming aware of your body language and how you communicate with them. I think it's really good for any horse and handler to work at.
So what's next for you? You're traveling, you said?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
So after this specifically, I'll go back down to somewhere in more Southern California to do a few more clinics. And then next up on my bigger travel, aside from within California, will be Vegas. I'm doing the Mustang Challenge out there. It's kind of a longer term one, not a 100-day. This horse I've had since the end of October. I started riding her in February, and that's like an all-Western challenge. It's a new format that they're doing, so I'll compete with her in Vegas.
Watch you.
Yeah, I'll compete with her in Vegas in kind of beginning mid-July, and then again an all-English competition, which will be really cool. That's mainly what I ride in September in Kentucky, and I get to do the same horse for that one too.
Well, I want to encourage people to follow you on YouTube, because not only do you give training tips, but you sing, you're dancing in the truck.
Gosh.
You're very entertaining.
Thanks.
88,000 people following you.
Yeah, I think they're there mainly for Lynx. This is my main guy who's been with me since I started that.
He's
so
very handsome.
I credit it to him.
Have you noticed he's been inching toward the camera?
He is a camera hog. He loves the attention. He knows his job for the clinics. It's really funny. We've done probably like 120 of them together at least. So like we come out here, and as I'm speaking and going through it, he's already doing the maneuver. Before I talk about it, I'm like, you need to wait. He's a ham. Yeah, he's a good boy.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Lovely to meet you.
Great meeting you.